Good morning, it's James. I do hope and pray this message finds you and your loved ones peaceful, thriving, and well. Gosh, have I been thinking a lot about this message, thinking a lot about you, thinking a lot about this community and how much you mean to me. I've been thinking a lot about certainty these days as well. More and more research comes out letting us know something that we already know, that our desire to experience more and more certainty has never been greater. I think the more that we feel so much uncertainty, we look outside of ourselves and we see so much unrest, we crave in our heart to feel certain about something. There is no question that mental health, emotional resilience, our overall well-being is never going to be more challenged than it is these days. Science tells us that between autoimmune conditions, mental health challenges, emotional upheaval, all of these things are at all-time high right now. So what do we do with this energy? And how do we cultivate a sense of certainty? You know, one of the things that I've been more and more clear about these days, and in particular these last couple of days, I want to share with you that I feel that there's so much upheaval going on around me that I want to root myself, perfect, the self that wants to feel more gratitude, the self that wants to feel more peace, the self that wants to feel more purpose. How about you? More peace, more purpose. Don't you want to feel like you can root yourself in your potential, and no matter what's going on out there in the world, you know that you are cultivating the soil of your soul, deep roots of truth, where your certainty lies. There is a beautiful invitation this time of the year. We get a chance to do anything that helps us to recognize where upheaval has taken us away from our truth, where we've been clinging to things looking for certainty and they don't hold any certainty at all. But the beauty is contrast. I'm a huge believer in the spiritual practice of contrast. How do I know when I'm feeling certain is when I'm feeling so uncertain. At the same time that I'm seeing so many things happen in my life, with what's going on the planet, what's going on in politics, what's going on with COVID, what's going on, friends and family, I continually have the contrast of what's going on in my heart and the opportunity to deepen my connection and root myself into the certainty of my own love. My own love. The love that allows me to be love in all conditions, which I think is really the path more and more for me, and maybe it is for you. I used to strive for unconditional love in all of my life, and I found myself really feeling challenged by that, continually feeling like I was falling short. And then I had this wonderful discernment over this last few weeks where I said, well, why not just be love in all conditions? And why not that being you could allow for you to root yourself in your own certainty, that you are going to be love in all conditions. The conditions of upheaval and unrest that's happening all around you, you get an opportunity to deepen your certainty through loving yourself. And the certainty comes in many forms. Having non-negotiables that we don't allow ourselves to trade our time away for things that do not bring us certainty. Things like watching social media, much of social media. Things like watching the news, things like watching politicians, things like watching the futility of how people argue over stuff that doesn't matter and really miss the point of having discussion and solving problems and coming to beautiful solutions that are inclusive, that do matter. Well, that's our opportunity. That's the certainty I'm shooting for. And that's where I'm rooting myself more and more these days. I find myself to be okay with being more and more ignorant to what's happening in the world, but much more inspired and enlightened to what's happening in my own world. So I know that I can live inside out versus outside in. And the certainty and the peace and the potential and purpose that comes by having that certainty, I do believe helps allow me to be a beneficial presence on the planet. And that's my goal for the rest of my life. Simply to be a beneficial presence on the planet. So I want to invite you to consider, where does your certainty lie? What are you really ready to let go of once and for all, like really for all. And give yourself the permission to align with deep truth, the roots of being love in all conditions. That is the condition. That is the prognosis of my life moving forward. And I hold and pray that is for you too. Much love and every blessing. Have a beautiful day.